I am live. I'm going to go post the link on the website, and so everybody can get coming in here. It's 12:46. Now, fast forward 7 minutes, and then I think that's about where the concert will start. Let me go post this link over here on schedule of events. Edit. Where's my edit page button? It's not there. I guess I was already in edit page. All right, so now we'll go back in edit page. Like, where's the button? Ah, I am amazed how all this stuff works. Let's see. All right, link, edit, settings, open a new window, update that, and then I'm going to get rid of this one. Cut, update. We'll go over here. See if we can get into the page we need. Should be able to view this now. Okay, I gotta edit that one. There's home. Okay, so we are all wired for sound now. So let's have the first few people in tell me if I sound like something is going well or something is going horribly. And then we will be ready to play some music. That one's good. Whoops, I gotta leave that open. All right, so there's that. Let's see who's logged in. Lynn's here. Rainy in New Jersey. Oh yeah, you guys have a tropical storm headed your way. Tropical storm Faye is coming to wash you out, Lynn. Sandy in from Michigan. Let's see. Sounds good. Sounds good. Looks okay. Sound is good. Yay, good. Renee checking in from Lakewood. Hello, Renee. Let's see. Welcome back. Yeah, we had a fun day off yesterday. I went outside. We went up to St. Mary's Glacier. Went for a little walk up there. Yep, it's a lake. Still here. Still some snow over there. Came home. But it was 70 degrees up on the hill, and it was 95 down here in the city. So worked out pretty good. Let's see. I'm feeling a little discombobulated today. We had the girls were supposed to head back to Oregon today, but they ran into scheduling challenges, and so they're not headed back until tomorrow now, which means another day of girls in their 20s hanging out in my house. They're lovely. They're lovely. We're not judging by any means. Let's see. Sorry about making your speakers rattle at the house. I know that never sounds good. Let's see. Cat, greetings. I'm joining from from the swimming pool. How funny. Floating instrument. That's funny, Cat. That is funny. Is it a plastic outdoor uke? Is that or just a really cheap uke? Yeah, I sell some plastic ones here that they're pretty nice. They're fine. They have definitely a plasticky sound to them, but they if you want to take them paddle boarding or whatever, or kayaking, you don't worry about them quite so much. Gary and Diane from beautiful Southern Washington. Pauline, sounding like it's good. Sunny in the Bay Area today. Well, how about that? You guys having a pretty good summer so far out there. That's nice. Linda's in down in Pueblo. Good morning, Gary. Yeah, so what we did, you guys know my niece Megan has been living with us for the last year, and she decided she's going to move back to Oregon. And so her sister flew out from Oregon. Her sister goes to school in Montana, and so she's home for summer break, I guess. And so she flew out to Colorado so that they could drive back together. And yesterday we went up to a place called St. Mary's Glacier, which is up above Idaho Springs. And it's not really a glacier, it's just what they call it. And then there is, sort of this rather complicated path, not too far to get up to the lake. And then it's lovely up there. And there were people, there's one giant rock. People jump off of it. It's about a 3-story drop into this lake, and there were a handful of young people up there jumping off that rock yesterday. So it was fun to watch them, and a few people skiing on this snowfield and doing all that kind of stuff. And so we drove up there, spent a couple hours, got a little sun, came back. It was lovely. And then last night, those girls were packing up like crazy, trying to get her ready to move. They were supposed to jump on the road around 11 a.m. this morning, and after the last night's rushing to get everything done, and then this morning they're like, it's not going to happen. So they're going to spend the night, one more night here, and then they're heading and then they're out of town, and then my life goes back to normal, which isn't necessarily good, but that's what's going to happen. So. Yeah, it's fun to have those guys hanging around. Definitely get me out of my comfort zone for sure. Let's see who else was logging in. So that was Linda from Bay Area, or I'm sorry, not Bay Area, Sonoma. Evelyn's in. She's in from Ecuador. So it's the one made in Oregon. Not great. Keep it in my car usually. I have one of those $20 tourist ukuleles that they sell in Hawaii on it's at the airport in my car, or I used to. I don't carry it in the car anymore. Yeah, 88 in Sonoma. Really, that's a lot. Let's see. Patricia's in. Christine's in. She's from Bozeman. Been doing some Montana looking around. Christine, we're thinking about coming up to see Jasmine when she goes back to Missoula to school, and we thought, well, let's go. I haven't been up to Montana since I was a kid, so I thought it'd be fun to go check things out. Maybe later this fall, if I'm not terrified of getting on an airplane. And Chris is in today. All right, so it's Friday. We usually get a little bit lower turnout today on Fridays, just because people are busy on Friday. So we're going to go ahead and get started, and we're going to play through a bunch of stuff today, and we have. Really sort of a small number of songs to do today, but I want to dig into the little book pretty heavily. That's something that all of you guys should be. I want you to feel super confident in playing from the little kids book, in the sense that that's how people think they're supposed to play when they get a ukulele, and you can help facilitate that. You can help them get started the correct way in strumming by using that little book. You teach them those 3 chords, maybe 4 if you're feeling ambitious, and then just play the heck out of that book. And so I'd like to do some of that today. And then I would like to, of course, go through our picking stuff. Yeah, and that's what they call it on the internet. You're finger picking. Crazy. I don't know. I should stop being so judgmental about stuff. All right. Let's see. If you are wondering the order, I think I'll just go down the order I put her on the website. We'll do Frere Jacques first, then Soft Kitty. Then we'll have a tiny increase in the level of complexity by about 1,000% to tomorrow, sunrise, sunset, try to remember, and then we'll wrap it up with a bunch of strumming today. So that should get you in order. Let's see, who else snuck in here? Where are you finding? Where am I finding some of these chords? You know what happens at this point, guys? You know what it is, right? You have your chords that are happy, to make you happy. You have a C, an F, an A, a G, a D maybe, and you love them, and you found them, and you are in charge of them. But then what happens is chords start finding you. That's what you have in front of you on many of these pages. Once you get to a certain level, the chords are no longer going to just make sense, right? So they're going to be crazy up here. They're going to be all sorts of weird configurations. And those of you guys who are around for the jazz era here in Jolly Roger Ukulele, the jazz stuff is even more like, what are you talking about kind of stuff, where you're really not doing anything that's particularly easy. So yeah, the chords are going to get worse. I don't find them, they come to find me. Let's see. Carol, welcome in from the high country, and Linda, welcome. So let's get going on Frere Jacques. I want to play it twice. First time through, we are going to plug it one note at a time. The second time through, you're going to find a happy way of strumming. So we'll play it just melodically with 0240, 0240, and so on. And then when we get to the bottom, I want you to go right back up to the top. I want you to grab your A chord, and then you can either strum this way, you can strum this way, you can strum this way, or you can strum that way. Okay, but then we'll do the second time. We'll just go through the whole thing and make sure that it makes sense. So 2 times through on Frere, the first time melodically, and the second time with chords. 1, 2, 3, 4. 0, 2, 4, 0, 0, 2, 4, 0, 4, 5, 7, 4, 5, 7, 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, 0, 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, 0. First string, second string, first string, first string, second string, first string. Grab your A chord. Frere Jacques, Frere Jacques, dormez-vous, dormez-vous. Sonnez les matines, sonnez les matines, ding, dang, dong, ding, dang, dong. Okay, Frere Jacques. So, big takeaway from that always is, hey, there's more than one way to play this song. Okay, so we can play it with melody, which is what I want you to be able to do, and then we can also take that chord, the A chord, and we can try strumming it in a myriad of different ways to get some sort of meaningful presentation for the song. I don't think that there is a right and wrong a right and wrong strum pattern. But I do think is some sound better than others. And so when you're working on a particular song and you're getting ready to share it with somebody, or you're thinking, hey, I want to bring my style to it, try different ways until you find what you think is the best. And I do think we could probably work on being a little more creative when we're strumming overall. And I always tell people around here, I'm like, the best way to strum is to not strum. And then they don't like me anymore. Soft Kitty is next up. Let's play Soft Kitty. Again, the piece of paper here in front, I use this to present to larger groups. And last time I presented it to a large group was for a teachers association meeting. And the basic thought process was, how many different ways can you play Soft Kitty? You can play it baritone way, you can play it chords ways, you can play it plucking, you can play it strumming, you can play it arpeggio, you can play just the melody, you can play the melody and the chords together, you could take the melody, the chords, and the arpeggio and combine those together. You could go grab a harmonica and play it that way, and it's all the same thing, right? And so what we begin to get a sense of is that music is all the same, right? Once you learn this basic skill set, the basic foundation to it, everything's the same. And that means you learn on ukulele. Why not you learn it on ukulele? It's way faster and easier. And then you can go take it to all these other instruments and see how it works out. I've been messing around with a trumpet here in the office, and I can't play it hardly at all because I don't have the pipes yet for it, or my, your embouchure. All that stuff is sort of weird, but music is still the same. This is a C chord, there's a C note, there's a B flat, this is an E, and so once you can figure that part out, then it's just a matter of what specific things on it is going to make that instrument hard to play. I got to learn that stuff, and so that's what we're working on. Okay, trying to find as many possible ways to do things as possible. It turns out I just got a text. I have a big water leak behind our bathroom. Oh, God, always something. All right, let's get going on Soft Kitty. First way I'd like to play it is just melody. Okay, play with me on the melody. 1, 2, 3, oh, oh, 1, 3, 3, 1, 3, oh, 1, 3, 3, 3, oh, oh, 1, 1, 3, 3, Let's do it again. I'm going to continue to play the melody. You're going to switch to chords. Your two chords are F chord and C7. Okay, I'm only going to play the melody. You're going to play the chords. How you're going to play this right hand is kind of up to you. Okay, be smart. Do. All that matters is that you give me either, and since it's in 2/4, you can either give me soft kitty, warm kitty, little ball of fur. So nice and one strum for every beat. Okay, or you can speed it up and make it fancier. Soft kitty, warm kitty, little ball of fur. Okay, might sound more exciting that way. You might be soft kitty, warm kitty, or soft kitty, warm kitty, or soft kitty, warm kitty, little ball of fur. Or maybe just these three, right? Soft kitty, warm kitty, little ball of fur. So lots of different choices. Okay, whatever way you want to play the chords will be fine. I'm going to give you the melody. I'm going to count it in as 1 and 2 and then we're going to go. Ready? 1 and 2 and soft kitty, warm kitty, little ball of fur. 2 and happy kitty, sleepy kitty, purr, purr, purr. One more time, change your strum pattern. Soft kitty, warm kitty, little ball of fur. Happy kitty, sleepy kitty, purr, purr, purr. Beginning. I probably should have put that on myself. There we go. Okay, so that's just playing duet, you and me. You're playing your chords in your way. I'm playing the melody in what I think is correct, right? And then we just got to make sure we're listening to one another to make sure those two concepts line up. We should play the tough axe, tough uke. Sorry, what instrument am I teaching? We're gonna play tough uke. Remember, your hard motion here is that F chord, pinky up here on 3. From the top, 1, 2. To the top. Second ending. You know, all of the ways we played, clearly, that's what you want to do, right? Being able to put everything together in one package. Play the chords, play the melody, play the arpeggio, play with such subtlety and beauty with your right hand that young ladies are weeping openly. That's what you're after when you're playing ukulele. And I think starting with Soft Kitty and everything after that is more of the same. And so it's really, how much time do you have to put in to play this thing? And a lot of you guys have put in an hour a day every single day for many months now, and hopefully you're seeing your skill set just sort of creeping its way up. You see 2013 now, and you don't really think anything about it. It's F chord with your pinky, and you're just magically there. You see 5558, right? That first shows up in Amazing Grace, which is coming for those of you guys that are newer players. It'll be here next week. But 558 right now, it's just a C chord on 5, and so that sort of stuff starts to get a little bit repetitive, and then that means that toolbox that you have or that you've been building, you're getting good at using the tools, right? So that's lovely. All right, now on to the things where Christine is like, what in the heck are these chords all about? And so, yeah, I agree. Let's find out. So let's go to tomorrow. Let's see. What am I going to tell you? So we will play. It's 2 times through, and we're going to play from obviously measure one, and it's not setting up on my paper right here. Play from the beginning all the way down to measure 21, and then we will go all the way back to measure one and play the thing a second time. The big takeaway from that we talked about last week was tomorrow is set at quarter note equals 72. Now, normal is 110 or 120, right? That's normal speed. So 72 should send you the message, play this slow. And as those of you guys who are working on it this week, you're probably like, yeah, it's probably a really, really good idea to play this slow. It sounds really nice if you play it slow, and it's going to work out just fine. What some discussion earlier this week about, you have these 1112s, which looks like that, or 114, which looks like that. Those are pretty challenging chords to hit. I would say, especially on the 4, if that's going to be too much, just go grab that 4 with your pinky, and I think it'll work better that way. Just play the 4, don't worry about the chord itself. I think those are really the two moments that are kind of a little bit tougher. In that second page, you do have some bar chords there. Measure, let's 12 obviously is your E chord. That one's that. Okay, that comes up. And then where did I see the other ones? There they are. You got a B flat on 5. Okay, right there. And then you're going to slide back and put your E chord back on to get measure 16 taken care of. Then we slide all the way up to 9. So double check you know where your 9 is, because that's going to happen in measures 17 and 18. Then the only other kind of weird thing that you have this B flat major 7th, which, no, I'm sorry, that's just going to be your B flat. I just arranged it as a B flat. The D chord at measure 18, yeah, it's going to be 5, 6, and 7, and then your pinky's also got to be on 7. Okay, so there's that one. That one's a little bit challenging to get through. And then the last thing, if you didn't mark it when we did this earlier in the week, at measure 22, there is a typo. Measure 22 in the tough uke section, it says 6457. What it should say is 7657. So that's that D chord again. 5, 6, 7, 7. Okay, that's what we want to play there. The chord grid is correct. Right above that, you can see it actually is doing double duty there. But the grid is fine, but the tablature I got in a hurry and I put down the wrong notes. So that's what's going on. Let's see. Oh, hey, Terry, welcome in. Hi, Susan. Okay, let's give tomorrow a try. Let's not go fast. If you want to just play the chords, you can. I don't know necessarily it sounds that great just playing the chords unless you're a heck of a singer. And obviously, if you're newer, just be playing that melody line. That is not cheating. That is not giving up. That is not throwing in the towel. That is learning to play the melody. And so please feel free to do that. That makes a lot of sense when you're newer. And remember, 4s are always your pinky. And nobody likes that rule, but that's it's not even a rule, right? It's a strong guideline. All right, here we go. From the top, you start with your A chord in place, nice and slow. I'll count in 3, and then we're going to go. 1, 2, 3. going to stop because I got, I think I skipped a note. I'm not sure what I did. So I'm going to go to 14. I'm going to start at 14, measure 14. I'm going to count in 4, and then I want to pick up. I think I missed 2 notes. That's what I think happened. 14, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's that D. Doggone it. To the top. Um, Second ending. Well, I butchered those D's every single time I came through. What are you going to do? Obviously, I need to spend a little bit more time just getting the subtleties in there and getting my fingers to go along. Hopefully, you played it better than I played it, or if you were having the exact same problem, believe me, I understand. Harder song than we want it to be, right? It's just because the kind of complexity of the chords in that middle section and the movement that happens in the song. It turns out it's a pretty complicated song, and you think if a little girl can sing it, well, I should be able to play it, but that's not at all true. So, all right, so enough on tomorrow. We'll work on that tomorrow. Let's move on to Sunrise Sunset. Speaking of challenging songs to play. Sunrise Sunset. All right. Chords aren't too brutal on the first page. We do have at measure 10, we have the ever popular A7, which is your E7 shape at 5, right? Okay. And then after that, there at measure 11, you do have your bar chord D minor. Okay. And you have a B chord in measure 13, which is really, it's just a B flat, and we move it up one. Okay. And then a B7 after that, again, bar on 2, middle finger on 3. Okay. So if you're on your B, all you do is lift that finger. And that's the only thing you have to do. That's why playing these bar chords with full bars instead of half bars is kind of a nice handy little trick to know. And then E7 is here. Okay, but you're going to be playing at measure 15. You're going to be playing it with this finger up to get the melody note, and then pulling it back to finish up that line. The harder section in here, and we talked about this earlier in the week, measure 17. You have what amounts to a bar chord G7. Okay, so you put your index on 4. Middle finger on 5, pinky and ring on 6, and that's the chord. That B7 is what we're looking for here, but that can be a lot to put on, and so you're probably just as fine just to play your G7 on 5, and then don't play the top string. Okay. Was that harder or horror? Well, the way I played tomorrow was a horror, so hopefully you're just playing it in the harder version, right? I need to have painful uke, and then the way Gary played it that is not correct at all way, right? That's the horror ukulele. All right, measure 18. You got a regular E chord, and that's going to turn into an E7. And I love that tendency. If you haven't discovered that on ukulele, that's a really handy thing to know. Major chord, my major 7 to the dominant 7, just by changing. Okay, and you can do that anywhere. If you're playing a D chord, it turns it into a D7. Really easy. Okay, resolve to a whatever. Then I think that may be the only chords we really need to chat about. I would say measure 20. What is it? 27. You're coming out of this D chord here on 5, and then at measure 29, you're going to be sliding 7, 8, 9. Right. So just think of that as your E minor, but up here on 7. Okay, and I did arrange it as just these 3 strings. Okay, but if you hit the top string, you get a really cool other chord. That's gonna be an A minor 7th, I think, is what you would call that. And then we have another A7, our favorite A7 on 5. That's the E7 shape with one finger sitting on 5. I'm going to have that one. And I think those are the main chord shapes that are going to make your life sad. Remember that we played the first page twice. We play the second page twice. We play the third page twice. Then we go back. We play the second page twice. On the last time through, when you hit the very bottom, measure 46, you're going to jump to the third page, and you're going to play 65, 66, 67, 68. Okay, so you're going to play those last 4 measures. So we're kind of all over the place. I'll try to talk you through it as I'm going through it. Hopefully I'll get it right. And again, I don't think you can play this song too slowly. I think that you wanted to just if you're old enough to have ever seen the movie Fiddler on the Roof, you know that he's got this big, deep, booming voice. He's in no hurry to get the song done, and then the song gets passed around from various characters in the thing. They're all just being so happy that there's a wedding going on and blah blah blah. And so I think playing it nice and slow makes some sense, even though I set it at 120. Otherwise, it takes 4.5 days to play through the whole thing. But I think playing it slower is absolutely fine. Makes a lot of sense to me. Okay. If you're not ready for that tough uke, and I don't even know if I'm ready for it, grab the melody until the chords mellow out to the point where you can get back to them, to playing the tough line, or just play the chorus, sing it, whatever. Make yourself, hey, it's Friday. I'm having a 100-degree hate day here. I don't care. Strum and sing. Go for it. Here we go. From the top. I'll count in 3 and we're going to go. 1, 2, 3. Back to the top. Second ending. Sorry. Okay, let's go on to page 2 and go. Back to the top. Second ending. Go clear down to the bottom of the page. Okay, now we go on to page 3. We're going to play this one twice as well. From the top. 1, 2, 3. the top. Second ending. Okay, now we're going to go play the page 2 twice. Back up to page 2. We're almost done. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. To the top. Second ending. Okay, go to page 3. Measure 65. Last 4 measures. We just did this beautiful A7, and then go to 63, and your B flat shape on 5. Play. 4 4 4 5. 9 8 7. And then 12 12 12. And earlier this week, somebody says, "What about harmonics?" If you at measure 12, you can barely if you just take right. There's fret 12 right above the bar there. There's this bar, right? The front side of fret 12. Just barely hold it down and then pluck it. Okay, and if you do them all together, just real light, you get harmonics is what those called. Okay, phew, mercy, what a workout. Lindy's like, I don't know what just happened to me. Yeah, that's a workout, right? That's a song that you would decide, hey, I love Fiddler on the Roof, or I love Jewish people, or I love fiddlers, or I love weddings, or something inside of that song says, hey, this is meaningful to you. And then that's the one you got to work on, right? Everything is right. Everything absolutely makes sense. But boy, it's a workout. It absolutely is. I always feel when I play a song like that where I know I love it. I know I love this song, and I also hate the fact that it is so hard. that the hard part of it is what makes it what I love. And so, can you simplify something like that? Probably. Would you? Well, I don't think you would, because it takes away too much of the beauty of it, the depth, the really fanciness of it. On the whole, the chords look fairly readable, right? And that's where these singers have a huge advantage. The instrumentalists are working their brains out, and the singers, sunrise, sunset, and so they get a little bit of an advantage on these more difficult songs. Whereas the instrumentalist is having to dig pretty deep to get the full amount of chords in there. And I really think it's a beautiful piece. I hate the fact that it's so hard to play, but it is probably worth something spending some time on. All right, now for something a little easier, let's go grab Try to Remember. Where did I put it? Where did I put it? It's supposed to be right there. PQ, Try to Remember. Here we go. Okay, this song's a little bit easier. All right, let's give it a try. I don't remember if there's anything we should talk about. Oh, we do have this crazy G7 chord with your pinky up on 5. And remember, we talked about if that's not going to go well, just make sure you hit the 5. Okay. You could also stick just a bar here. It's close enough. Okay. It's not the right chord, but it's close. And then we go again and measure down there at 19. We have again that same D minor shape on 5 with your pinky there. Okay. That comes up a lot in playing D minors with that a real high note on there. It sounds beautiful. It's a high F. It just sounds really good. And there's one other crazy thing in here. Maybe not. Yeah, close enough. All right, so let's give it a try. It'll be fun. Okay, and again, be thinking about what way of playing these things makes sense for you. If just doing the chords is fine, try to play along with me. I know I'm playing slow on purpose, right? Is to try to get all the notes correct and get as pretty as I can. And then your job at home is to try to get to do the same thing, but then also start cranking up the speed a little bit. Okay, this we're supposed to sing through 3 times. That seems like a lot, doesn't it? Let's do it twice. Let's do it twice. So we'll go down through 30, then we'll go back and we'll play it through back to 29, skip 30 and do 31 and 32. I think twice through is plenty. And there's that. I'm worried about all this and texting going on. All right, here we go. Again, don't rush. 1, 2, 3. To the top and go. Second ending. I think a regular C sounds better, don't you? I'm going to get rid of that fancy C. It seems to cause a lot of excitement for no good reason. Beautiful. Beautiful. Whew. That hurt my head today. All right. Mental note. Practice those songs. Those are not up to your usual standards, Gary. All right, let's these Broadway tunes are tough, guys. There's no way to get around it. One of my favorite things in the world, this little booklet. What song do you want to play? First one over here wins. Pick a song. Pick a song. Don't make me pick. I'll pick Wheels on the Bus. Pick a song. Doesn't matter. Pick a song. Wait. Is anybody still watching? Everybody went. That was too hard. Okay. All right. Vive la Company. So I got all four of the chords in it. Okay. Vive la Company. It's on page 15. All right, and then the problem with 15 is you can't, turn your paper over. So now you have to have the chords memorized. If you don't, so let's pretend you walk into the ukulele strum along. And they're like, all right, we're going to play Vive la Company. And you think to yourself, I don't know Vive la Company at all. First thing you do, all right, what do I need to do to survive this song? All right, it's in 4/4. I know what that means. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That sounds like a march. Okay, I'm going to be good. Second thing I need to know how to make an A chord. Okay, index and middle. Second thing you need to know how to make in this song is a D chord, index, middle, ring. Third thing you need to know in this song is an E7, index, middle, ring. Okay, and because it's got a purple headline on it, that means it's going to have the fourth chord in it, which is F7. Okay, index, middle, ring. Isn't that a beautiful chord? I love that chord. Okay, and notice that A and F sharp minor are exactly the same, except you're adding the ring finger. Okay, all right. Now, all you have to know is those four things: what the tempo is, or not tempo, what the number of beats are. It'll come. It's sitting there. However many, what the time signature is 4, and I need to know what chords I'm going to be dealing with. All right, now I'm set. Last thing you probably need to know is what's going to happen when I blow it. Okay? And when I blow it, usually I'm grabbing whatever the chord is. I'm supposed to be on another chord, so I jump over real quick. But sometimes you get to a chord and you're like, I don't remember what that chord is. That's when you just don't do anything over here. Keep the beat, right? Maybe take your fingers and put them over the strings lightly. One, because it'll sound good doing it that way as well. Okay. To wit, let's do that. Let's do one verse. Okay. Take your hand lightly. Don't press down. Just cover up the strings. And you get this. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Let every good fellow now join in the song. Viva la company. Success to each other and pass it along. Viva la company. Viva la, viva la, viva l'amor. Viva la, viva la, viva l'amor. Viva l'amor, viva l'amor. Viva la company. Okay. Entire song played with Z chord. It's called Z chord, where you just make sure no noise is coming out. not to let you in on a secret of the music industry, but in Hawaii, when you go to a luau, there's often a ukulele player, along with a steel drum and one of those gigantic drums, and guitarist plugged in, and a steel guitarist doing his deal. Right? They're all these. What's the chance of this being heard? Zero. It's not being heard. But what they're doing is playing it exactly like that to give you this nice, cool Hawaiian percussion. Okay, and so it's a great thing to learn that, hey, I don't necessarily have to know the chords. I can just be a percussionist and join in and have a good time. Then wait, it's a little bit of a default out. Obviously you don't want to do that for your whole life, but when you don't know a chord, just cover up the string, play the strum, and keep the beat going until you get to the next chord that you do know. Okay. Viva la company. Maybe you're strumming, maybe you're plucking, maybe you're arpeggiating. I don't know. This doesn't feel like an arpeggio song, but maybe you are. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Let every good fellow now join in this song. Viva la company. Success to each other and pass it along. Viva la company. Viva la, viva la, viva l'amore. Viva la, viva la, viva l'amore. Viva l'amore, viva l'amore. Viva la company. A friend on your left and a friend on your right. Viva la company. In love and good fellowship, let us unite. Viva la company. Get to the chorus. Viva la, viva la, viva l'amore. Viva la, viva la, viva l'amore. Viva l'amore, viva l'amore, viva la company. Third verse. A friend around us to sing us this song. Viva la company. We'll banish our troubles, it won't take us long. Viva la company. Viva la, viva la, viva l'amore. Viva la, viva la, viva l'amore. Viva l'amore, viva l'amore, viva la company. Last verse. Should time or occasion compel us to part, viva la company. These days shall forever enliven our hearts. Viva la company. Viva la, viva la, viva l'amore. Viva la, viva la, viva l'amore. Viva l'amore, viva l'amore, viva la company. That's it, right? You now are experts at going to sing-alongs. Don't know the song, don't know anything about what's going on there. Half the time songs like that are, say, Vive la Company, then there's a bunch of French lyrics, and you're like, I don't know what any of this means, but I know my chords, and I know how to keep time. And if you don't know how the chords, you certainly know how to keep time, right? And so that's something that's what you do to survive these strum-alongs. And then obviously once you know your chords, then you start messing around with your right hand and turning it into something a little more exciting. I'm just keeping steady beat. But you're supposed to be playing with me. You're supposed to be making it fancy. All right, are you? I hope so. Oh, Susan is. Okay, good. All right, next one I saw was Clementine. Let's go to Clementine. What page are we on? Clementine. Page 3. Okay. All right, we're lucky. Page 3, Clementine, and then now these chords are free, right? So you can put Clementine up here, Clementine on one side and your chords on the other, and there we go. I know these chords, so I don't need to do that, but you could do that. Again, you're strumming with me, right? I'm not a great singer. I'm not great at that great at strumming. But thinking about how can we do this for fun? We're not going to do all these verses. There's too many, but there's quite a few that are worth doing. Let's maybe instead of just doing this, maybe try if whatever you did on the last song. Let's do that. Whatever you did on the last song, I did this on the last song. Do something different. Okay, this is in 3. So remember, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Usually the 1 we try to hit a little heavier than 2 and 3 to get that waltzy feel into it. Okay. All right. I'm going to count in 2, and then we're going to go 1, 2. In a cavern, in a canyon, excavating for a mine, dwelt a miner, 49er, and his daughter Clementine. Here it is. Oh, my darling, oh my darling Clementine, you are lost and gone forever, dreadful sorry Clementine. Light she was and like a fairy, and her shoes were number 9. Herring boxes without topses, sandals were for Clementine. Oh my darling, oh my darling, oh my darling Clementine, you are lost and gone forever, dreadful sorry Clementine. Drove the ducklings to the water every morning just at 9. Hit her foot against a splinter, fell into the foaming brine. Oh my darling, oh my darling, oh my darling Clementine, you are lost and gone forever, dreadful sorry Clementine. Ruby lips above the water, blowing bubbles soft and fine. But alas, I was no swimmer, neither was my Clementine. Oh my darling, oh my darling, oh my darling Clementine, you are lost and gone forever, dreadful sorry Clementine. Last verse, all the way at the bottom. How I missed her, how I missed her, how I miss my Clementine, till I kissed her little sister and forgot my Clementine. All right. The narrator there is a terrible dude or girl. I don't know. Terrible person. And lets poor Clementine drown. Doesn't even try to say it. Doesn't even try. Makes no effort whatsoever. And then they bury her in there, and she's fertilizing the posies. And then her dad dies, kills himself. Seems like, and then he dreams about her that she's coming up out of the water. Everything's terrible until he kisses her little sister. All right, nice. Okay, what time is it? One more. We got one more. We're going to squish in one more. I want to do, what do I want to do? I want to do a good song. Okay, let's go do what is it? This Little Light of Mine, page 14. Go do 14. It's real short, really beautiful little tune. I think it's an old church song, but it's actually just got the right message. Okay. I want us to do all arpeggios, everybody. Okay. Thumb, index, middle. These are the only 3 you need. Thumb on top of the 3rd string, thumb on top of your C string, index underneath your E string, middle finger underneath your A string. Boom, 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 boom. Thumb, index, middle, index. Thumb, index, middle, index. Thumb, index, middle, index. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 3 and 4. And that's what I want. Okay, from the top. This Little Light of Mine, page 14. 1, 2, 3, 4. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Change your chord. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine. Okay, that's pretty, right? That's how you make it sound like you really know what you're doing when you don't really know what you're doing. Arpeggio patterns, right? Take this song that we would typically go, this little light of mine, and just way overplay the song, and then just create some sensitivity and beauty with just thumb, index, middle, index, thumb, index, middle, index. And you can play it twice the speed. It'll sounds good that way too. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, this little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine, this little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. So by slowing my voice down a little bit and speeding up my fingers a little bit between the two, I ended up being able to double pluck that same exact song. Boy, now I sound like I'm really a ukulele player, right? So, okay, that's enough, guys. This was a crazy week. I think next week's going to be a little smart, a little easier. Not easier. Nothing's easy, guys. It's. I think next week we're going to be a little bit more. This happens and this happens and this happens and this happens sort of thing. I'm working on a Beethoven piece. Valerie from Chicago has been she's going to fly to Denver and punch me in the nose if I don't do a little more Beethoven for her. So I don't want to have an act of violence in our ukulele world. So I'm working on some Beethoven. Whether I can get it done or not by Monday, I don't know. We'll get some of it done, and we'll throw a little bit of that at you next week. The way we play, the way I teach, the way we this whole series and all this stuff, it's all very classical in nature. So whether we're playing Beethoven or whether we're playing Johnny Cash, it doesn't necessarily matter. The skill set's basically the same, and so it's just some stuff sounds cool and some stuff doesn't. But most of the stuff, everything I give you, I hope sounds cool. So that's what we're after. Hope you guys had a good week. I hope you, if you're around the Western United States, we're getting absolutely roasted, and if you're on the East Coast, I know you're getting that storm's coming at you. So obviously, be careful out there. The correct answer is just stay inside, right? That's what we are figuring out. FaceTime, Zoom, whatever. We're all going to get through all this craziness, and so we just right. Okay. If you're in Texas, if you're in Arizona, if you're Florida, if you're in California, those places, seriously, stay inside. Oh my gosh. Don't go talk to anybody. All right. We want you guys safe. So have a great weekend. I will see all of you on Monday. I'm basically sort of more or less caught up with emails. I've got, some stuff that I always have lingering, but if you want to chat this weekend, please feel free to send me an email. And then on Monday night, remember, we're going to do standard notation night. So those of you guys that are like, hey, I kind of need to know how to read standard notation on the ukulele, we'll do that on Monday night. I have been kind of deciding when to do it. It seems like now is just as good a time as any to drop that in. So if you want to know what that very top line is all about in your music, let's do that. Okay. I have a wonderful weekend and stay safe. Okay. I will see you, Sandy, Susan, Renee. Have a great weekend as well, Linda. Enjoy your weekend. Letting those lights, let your light shine. Yeah, play this little light of mine. Don't play it tomorrow; it's too hard. Linda, have a great week up there in California. Lindy, you're welcome. Thank you for being here. Chris, thank you. Okay, another wonderful week. Thank you. Yes, thanks for being here. Okay, Phil has so much fun. Yeah, fun. It is fun, right? You get an hour of playing ukulele every day. How bad can that be? Pauline, I'll see you soon. Thanks for being here, Red. I am a classic. Classic Edsel. Lynn, have a great day. Kat, how did it go? Did you drop? I'm glad to see you didn't fall in the lake. I was sitting there and I was thinking, oh God, she's sitting on a lake with her ukulele. I hope she's paying attention to not rock the boat. Don't rock the boat, baby. All right, Linda, good to see you. I wish for rain. It's always what you don't want, right? We want rain out here in the West, out East. They don't want ever any more rain, So it's just crazy. Carol, have a good weekend. Fran, good to see you next week. All right, and Sandy, have a great weekend. I'll see all you guys later. Ending the stream.